UFC welterweight world title challenger Jack Della Maddalena. Thanks for your time, mate. How
My
you
pleasure.
settling into to Montreal?
Yeah, no, we're settling in nicely. It's a pretty cool spot. The weather is pretty nice. We're expecting it to be pretty cold, but we've been pretty lucky. Been getting around in shorts and t-shirts, so it's pretty cool. Very nice place.
You're coming into this one off a long layoff, obviously, more than a year out. What positives have you been able to take from that time off?
I mean, just being able to be in the gym, work on my craft, sharpening the tools, and really being able not focusing on one particular game plan or one opponent, but just focusing on myself, getting better has been a pretty good, big blessing because I've been trying to stay pretty active the last couple of years, and yeah, it's been a bit of a blessing in disguise. Obviously, wasn't the best outcome, but I think it worked out for the better.
I suppose you're at an age now where uh, you're kind of hitting your peak, but you're still able to improve fight to
Yeah.
fight. Do you kind of feel that's where you're at?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's yeah, I feel like I do improve fight to fight, but sometimes it's hard to get better at stuff when you're just preparing for game plans, trying to get as fit as possible. You obviously do get better in that time because there's a lot of hard work, but being able to sit back and just focus on skill development, that sort of thing, sharpening the tools is yeah, it was a good thing.
What did you make of Bilal's win over Leon Edwards?
It was a good win, you know. Leon was a good champion. I think, to be honest, I feel like Leon didn't do enough, you know. That's what I feel. I feel like he was too much on the back foot, and he gave Belal pretty much a layup. I thought just he did exactly what you shouldn't do against Belal Muhammad, and I think that's how Belal got the win. Belal's a very good fighter, and he finds ways to win against the best guys. And yeah, I think Leon just didn't do enough, you know. That too much on the back foot, didn't push the pace enough. But a solid victory.
Bilal's been in the UFC for coming up to 10 years now. You would have been watching him for a long time. What have you made of his development? And was he kind of a guy that you thought one day might get to the title?
I mean, he's had good wins, you know. He's beaten some good guys. He's been consistently winning. He put on a pretty to get to the belt, he put on a big consistent run. So yeah, I thought at some point I would fight him, you know. So and I've always looked at him, thought I could beat him. So here we are, you know. Title aside, I think whether the title was on the line or not, I think I can beat him. So just blessed to get the opportunity to do it for the world title.
The first time I ever spoke to you was before your contender series fight, and we spoke about you had that goal for 10 wins after those two losses to start your pro
Yeah.
career. Um, and then after that fight, you said the next goal was the title. Do you
Yeah.
feel like you're kind of in a similar spot to like just on the cusp of achieving that goal?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, we're stuck when you stick to goals and you really work as hard as you can to get them. It's just you can get them done. You know, I feel like I learned that by getting to 10-2, and now it's just using the same formula to get to the title. It's something always truly did believe I would get here. You know, I believed in I'd get to 10-2, and now after that, believed it would get the title. So belief and hard work, it's a good combination, and here we are.
Tell me about those two losses to start your pro career. I know it's a long time ago now, but and looking at those two guys, Alden Bates and Darcy Vendy, they went on to have some good wins themselves and solid careers. Tell me what kind of effect you think that, I guess, baptism of fire had on the rest of your career.
Yeah, I think it was very important. You know, I think losing, obviously, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself, and you make tweaks, and you figure out what you needed to do to win. So, and they were tough fights. You know, I didn't really have a big amateur career, so I just got thrown in there against good guys. Tough guy, Alden Bates, and then Darcy Vendy's a good fighter. I do think I'll beat him now, Darcy Vendy, but he's doing good stuff. You know, and it's just a good. I think yeah, if I had have won those two fights and just kept winning and then lost down the track, maybe I would have lost motivation. But kicking off with those two losses, you know, it was only uphill from there. So I think they were blessings.
Does it kind of make you go out there with no fear? It's like I know what losing feels like. I know it's not the end of the world kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's good. You know what feeling you I don't want everyone to lose. It's a terrible feeling, you know. So I know I really never want to be in that spot again. It was a hard feeling. So yeah, just and then also just the lessons I learned from those fights. They were super important. But yeah, definitely knowing what losing feels like, it's something I really chase the victory.
This fight, you would think that the Belal strategy is to drag it out and get you into those sort of third, fourth, fifth round with, and obviously cardio is a strength of his. What gives you the confidence that you can go with him in those stages?
I think I can damage him, you know. So I think as the fight goes on, I'll be the one landing more damage. I think he's no more his style's more trying to just drown you out, hold you down, and try and make you work by getting back to your feet. But I think if the longer the fight goes, I'll be able to physically damage him. I think as that damage compiles, I think it's going to slow him down. I think deeper in the fight, I might be able to take him out.
How much of a focus has wrestling and grappling been this camp?
Yeah, of course, big focus. I don't want to get stuck on my back. I think the easiest fight for me is to stuff his takedowns and keep it standing. So that's what we've been working on doing. Obviously, we've been working worst case scenario on my back, bad submissions, the whole lot, getting back to my feet. We've been working different techniques to get back up, different techniques to attack him off my back. But all in all, the perfect fight would be stuffing the takedowns over and over again and stinging him.
How do you think you'll react if and when you get your hand raised?
It's gonna be a surreal moment. It's gonna be a lot of work, a lot of hard work come to that one moment. But also, it's the beginning of a new time. It's the just the beginning of another phase in the career. But yeah, it's gonna be obviously we're just gonna have to sit back and really enjoy this victory because it's gonna not just the work I put in, but the whole team. So it's exciting time.
And then what would it mean to bring that title back and defend it in Perth, or at least in
Yeah,
Australia?
yeah. Bring the title home to Australia and then bring it across to Perth. And then hopefully be able to defend it in Perth would be, yeah, just a dream, surreal stuff I was visualizing in my head, and I believed it would come true. Now just living it out is yeah, it's the dream of mine.
Any ideal names in line for that first defense?
I mean, I think welterweight. I think no, the number one contender. I still believe is Shavkat Rakhmonov. So I think that's the fight to make. Whether Islam decides to step up, we'll see what happens there. But I think in terms of welterweight, I still believe Shavkat's the guy. But yeah, all eyes on Belal. Get through him, and then we'll see what's next.